Hello, everyone. Hi, it's so awkward sitting there waiting for the thing to turn on. You never really know when it's starting recording. I always feel like, back in the days when you would do the family photographs and everybody's posing to try to smile. Super awkward. But yeah, so just gonna chat for a few minutes, waiting to see who's gonna hop on. It's been a little while since we've done a live, so I just figured now is as good a time as any. We got all kinds of craziness going on in the world right now. There's just so much to talk about. And just, I figured people probably were just maybe wanting to hear what we had to say, to hear what spirit had to say, what guidance can be given to us right now. So it's an interesting place to be in right now. Like Kayla and I, this is not a political channel by any means. We're focused on the ascension. We're focused on helping people through that process of ascension. And so that has to be our main focus. And I don't know if some of you have noticed or not, but channels who don't tote the party line when it comes to what's going on in the political landscape right now have a habit of being deleted. And so in order for us to serve our mission best for you, we try to stay away from talking about a lot of that stuff. But there's no way to ignore what's going on in the world right now. Like we are in the midst of a revolution, I do believe. I mean, if you look at some of our different astrological videos and stuff, we can see how this is being supported by Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter and everything that's happening planetarily. And it's just, I mean, the time has come. We're moving into the new earth. And so the old paradigm is dying. And it's a very intense, very fiery, very chaotic process, right? And we're really seeing that being reflected in the world right now. So the only thing that I'm guided to share as far as that goes, because we do try to stay away from talking about that too much, except how it relates to the ascension. And so it's just that all I want to say is whatever it is that you're being guided to do right now, however it is that you're being guided to act, do it with love. It's so imperative right now that we remain in that vibration of love, that we remain in that frequency, that we do not allow ourselves to be pulled into fear consciousness, that we don't allow ourselves to be pulled into hate. There are so many reasons to be angry right now. It's so easy to, hi Tommy, to sink into that, right? But it's so imperative that we remain centered in love, no matter what it is that we're doing. There is a way to stand up and speak out against injustice while still holding love in our hearts. We want to just be anchored into that frequency, because that is the frequency of the earth that we're moving into. And as these timelines are splitting, as we are sort of making our choice of what reality we want to participate in and where it is that we want to go throughout this ascension process, our vibration is going to be the factor that determines that. And so we really want to really watch how we're being sucked into victim consciousness, into fear consciousness, into just anger and rage and all of that, because those vibrations, those energies will, I mean, they're not good. They're not healthy. And it's really difficult not to do that right now, because of course there is so much going on. And those of us who come from this place of love, this place of compassion, this place of desiring the best for ourselves, for our children, for humanity, like we can be outraged sometimes, and that does pop up, but it's just always finding that way to anchor back into the heart, to anchor back into that heart-centeredness, and to speak from a place of love, to act from a place of love, to just exist and be in that frequency of love is just so imperative. I believe that there are different forces that are seeking to create disharmony, that are seeking to splinter our unity, to keep us locked in a certain consciousness. And they're trying absolutely everything they can to do that. So it's just about coming back with that, with more love, with more unity. With this, we talk about it all the time, is seeing ourselves reflected in everyone and everything around us, and just continuing to stay in that vibration and that knowing. and just continuing to focus as well on our spiritual journey, on growing ourselves spiritually, on being that light and anchoring that light and bringing that light and that healing into this world. That is, it's just so important. And it's the only thing that I can say right now, or the only thing that I can stress, is just remaining in that consciousness. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling some cards for guidance for what we're going through right now, navigating these energies, this incredibly intense part of our ascension process right now, and just see what guidance the cards have to give us. So just general guidance, general ascension guidance as we navigate these times right now, these crazy times that we're in. What is some guidance from Spirit? And we're using the Sacred Rebels deck right now. Guidance from Spirit. Okay. And actually, we'll stop with the first card right now. So we have Power of Attraction, number 13. And so the first thing that this makes me think of is just the fact that our vibration and the energy that we're putting out and our thoughts is what attracts our reality. That's what attracts the experiences that we have. You can see here, it's like the mirroring aspect going on between these two people, right? And the fact that everything is a mirror. And so what we're seeing mirrored right now in the collective consciousness is just all of that shadow material that's being exposed, right? So that is being mirrored back to us. And our own reality mirrors back to us what's going on internally within ourselves. And the energy that we contain within us is mirrored back to us. So that's kind of like just what we were just talking about, right? Is how we want that frequency within us. We want what's mirrored back to us to be that frequency that we're seeking, that frequency of love, that frequency of unity, and just understanding that we are attracting what we are putting out. And whatever we feed, we talk about like the wolf that you feed, right? Like I quote that a lot. And it's like the two battling like wolves within us. And so one that is like anger and all of that, hatred and all of that, and one that is peace. And sort of like how both exist within us at the same time. It's like the dual sides of our natures, and which one grows stronger is the one that you feed. So it's like, what are we feeding ourselves right now? What are we feeding our reality? And just really being very aware of that and very vigilant about that. Because whatever it is that we feed is what we're attracting, and what's growing within us and what's manifesting. And when we feed the hatred, when we feed the ignorance, when we feed all of that, we get more of that. And so it makes things really complicated, right? Because we don't want more of that. What we want is more love. We want more unity. We want that. Yes. And prayers back to you, Tommy. So that's what we're trying to attract. That's the energy that we're wanting to amplify. Whatever it is that we put our focus on is what we amplify. It's what we get more of. And so just really putting our focus on what is our intended result. What is it that we want? What is it that we are seeking to manifest? What is this earth and this reality and this world that we are seeking to manifest? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How can we feel into that? How can we anticipate and put our attention on the highest possible and best possible outcome, on the best outcome? Sometimes I try to say things too many ways, and then I just end up saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to stop myself there. But yeah, that. And so this card says, and I'll hold it up again for you guys so you can see. It's like what they're creating together too. These two souls, it's what they're creating together. There is so much wonder awaiting you. There are so many beautiful adventures and so much magic yet to be. Can you keep your heart open to what is coming towards you without surrendering your experience of this moment by becoming too future-oriented? You see, there is magic in this moment too. There is something arising within you out of the depths of your being. In this process, there is a shift in environment in both internal and external. A fertility is being stimulated. This is your time to play with that fertility, to conceive, create, and embark upon the process of transformation with an open heart and mind. You may not know where it is all going to lead. All you need to know is that it will be wonderful and exactly perfectly what is needed. Beyond that, allow the energy of fertile growth and abundance that now flows so naturally and richly within you and around you simply to be. You are a big soul, and with that often comes big dreams. You might worry that you want too much out of life. Perhaps you think that you are only capable of small dreams. If you have drawn the oracle of big, bold vision as well, then this is the part of the message that is highlighted for you. This oracle is guiding you to remember, that there are stages of creation, not yet anyway. A house cannot be built without the flooring. No matter how beautiful the stained glass windows you plan to install are, the walls need to be up first. Your big life dreams are a work in progress, just like you. And that's what's going on a collective stage as well right now, is like we're building the flooring, right? We're even beyond that. We're like constructing the basement right now. We're constructing the foundation of the house that we want to live in. And in order for that house to be constructed, we had to demolish the old house that was there before. And so we're working from the ground up right now, but it's like never being able to dream too big. And this comes up a lot too. And this is probably going to go in a whole bunch of different directions. So just bear with me. But like that comes up a lot too, is this fact that like your biggest dream, hi Kelly, is probably so much smaller than what is actually possible, right? So it's not, you can never dream too big. And with everything that's going on right now in the collective reality, it's so important for those of us who can dream big to dream big, to really not allow any of this to hamper our imagination and the possibilities that we see for this world. Like, as we collectively focus on the possibilities that we see for this world, we are bringing those into manifestation. So there are people that have all different roles in this process as this old earth is crumbling away and this new earth is being formed and we're moving into it. Everybody has a different role. So for me, my role is to focus on what it is that we're trying to build. My role is to anchor in that positive energy, to be here, to be available, to help others on this spiritual path to remain committed and focused on their spiritual path at the same time that everything else is going on around them. Because we always, no matter what we're doing, we have to stay focused on that as well. We have to find a way to stay in this space of creation and joy whenever possible, because it's so important that some of us anchor that in, that consciousness in, anchor that light in. And so we all have different missions and we all have different parts to play. And whatever the part is that you're meant to play, like, you'll be drawn to and you'll know and you'll feel it in your bones. But like I said, it's just like playing that part with love, always with love. I gotta take a drink of water here. Yeah. So it says, if you have been working on healing something within you, started a new creative project, or just taken on a new job or relationship, and feel that although you are getting some results, you are impatient for more, doubt that you can continue or ever find the zone and become proficient in the situation at hand, then this oracle comes as a reinforcement. You are doing well. That which is worthwhile takes time to build. Celebrate each success, even the small ones. You are creating something of worth. Be patient, keep going, and trust. This oracle comes with a special message. You have recently completed a cycle or level of manifestation and are transitioning into the next level of experience. Like a big fish leaving the small pond and feeling rather like a small fish in a bigger pond, there will be some getting used to it time needed as you find your way. This will add to what you have already done and bring valuable expansion to your realization of your abilities, as well as many new relationships and opportunities to help you go further on your journey. What you are in the process of creating will benefit from this stage of your process. Whether your creation is simply your sacred life path, a particular creative work, or an actual child, there is a positive and constructive energy that is unfolding for you now to boost this process and carry you further along the way. Do you dare to dream and to believe in your dream until it manifests, even if naysayers challenge you? Of course you do, Sacred Rebel. So this is happening for a lot of people, I think. A lot of people are in this space where, like, we're wrapping up old cycles and we're moving into these new cycles. We're moving into this next phase of our ascension process. And I've noticed for a lot of people that there have been people going through that dark night of the soul again, that we've got all these planets in retrograde too, right? Which is just reinforcing this, all of this incredibly explosive 2020 energy is just like all of that stuff is coming up as we're stepping into this next layer. And so a lot of people are going through that sort of like shadow journey again. And a lot of us are calling back aspects from past lifetimes as well. So that energy is coming in. And then we have, we talk about it in a lot of our videos, as we're integrating these pieces of our souls and reclaiming these parts of ourselves. And like what's happening is all of the emotions and the stuff, especially when we talk about reclaiming like past life gifts and stuff, like that energy that buried those gifts in the first place, that caused those parts of ourselves, those pieces of our souls to fracture and drift away. Like some of those energies are coming back up and we're having to deal with those too. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that for people right now, a lot of stuff. But we're also just, so many of us just, when that stuff starts coming up again, we know that we're moving into the next phase of our process. Like we're leveling up. That's what happens when you level up, is at first it feels kind of like you're moving backwards, but that's not what's really happening. It's just more things are being released so that we can continue to hold even more and more light, so that our souls can grow, more whole. We're calling more of ourselves back home. And so that's a big energy. And the other thing that I've noticed a lot, this has come up in a bunch of the different monthly astrological readings too, is that a lot of us are beginning to call in our soul family, to call in our tribe, like those souls, as we're stepping into our mission work, as we're stepping into our light, those souls who are on the similar mission to ours, those souls that incarnated on this earth at the same time that we did so that we could come together and do this mission together, are starting to be drawn to us, and those people are being called in. And we may not see that reflected in our reality a lot. I feel for a lot of people that hasn't necessarily, like, it's happening on an energetic level, but it hasn't yet really come in on the physical level. And so it's just like being patient with that process and trusting that that's happening. Like that energy is so strong right now. So I feel like that's a message for some people who may be feeling alone right now, or maybe in that dark night of the soul and going through that purging process and feeling as though they're kind of like walking this road alone, or there aren't people that understand them. Is like, your soul family is coming, your tribe is coming, and everything that you're purging out right now is bringing you closer to your true vibration, which is what attracts that in for you. Yes, wonderful. Hi, Frank. That's beautiful. Yes, the third eye is activating. We're connecting through our third eyes. We're on that vibration together. My ears are ringing too. So that's absolutely beautiful. That's one way I can tell when the energy's picking up, but that's what's happening right now. So that's a message for you guys, is just that, like, your soul family is gravitating towards you. All of these things, like the power of attraction, right? Like, we are attracting to us all of the people, all of the opportunities that are a match to our frequency and that are going to further our progress. And it's just trusting in that. And it's allowing this purging process to take root. It's allowing this to happen, this facilitation of this, and just really just sinking into that and trusting that process. Like, trust the process. That's a card that comes up for us a lot too, is just really having faith in this process and just knowing that they're out there, and we can connect to those people. We can connect to our soul tribe as well as our family of light energetically as well. Like, if they're not here in the physical yet, that's okay. We can set the intention through meditation. We can open up our energy. We can use that heart center as that beacon, right? To send out that energy, to send out those frequencies, and to feel them on that soul level, on that energetic level. And so that's something that might be really helpful for some people right now. And I think I get the feeling that as you open up and you do that, that's going to draw your soul family in even more quickly. That's just going to amplify that energy. That's going to really, it's like in the 5D where it is that we're moving to, we're all together already. Like, that's another thing that's been coming up a lot that I want to reiterate, is this fact that, like, when we incarnate in this, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional reality, we forget everything, right? And we have this illusion of separateness, but we are never separated from our family of light, from our soul tribe, from all of from anything, right? From source. We are never separate. We just feel that way. That's the illusion that we're dispelling right now. And so in the 5D and beyond, we are already together, and we're moving into this new earth where we'll be able to sense that more easily. But part of how we anchor into that 5D vibration and that new earth vibration is by reaching out and being able to feel and connect with our family of light, with our soul tribe, even when they're not there physically. Like really, like everything happens by feeling when we move into these higher dimensions, right? It's all about the feeling. That's why the heart center is so imperative. And that's why we have, we start out with this heart chakra activation, right? And that just gets deeper and deeper as we continue to receive more in activations and continue to open up our energy. It's like that heart center is the key to everything. It's the key that lets us into, that unlocks the door, which was never really locked, that opens the door to the 5th dimension, right? And so that's why at the beginning of this live, I talked about how important it is, no matter how you feel you need to stand up right now, no matter what it is that you feel you need to do to remain centered in that heart vibration. Because if we allow any circumstances to pull us out of that vibration, they're effectually pulling us out of the 5th dimension. That is hindering our ascension process. And so it's just always finding a way to stay rooted in that heart and to really just, practice connecting with your tribe and your family of light through that heart energy, through that feeling energy, in the non-physical. And as we connect even more deeply in the non-physical, we then begin attracting things in the physical. Once again, holding that up, the power of attraction. And then the phrase, our vibe attracts our tribe, just popped into my head too. Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, we've got the sun. There's so much going on cosmically right now. Like I've been reading accounts that really resonated with me of just different races of light beings, just beaming these frequencies onto the earth. Really, the sun, the planets are beaming their energy down on us. We actually have 3 eclipses happening within a single lunar cycle this month, starting on the 5th with the lunar eclipse. Then we have the major solar eclipse, and we have another lunar eclipse. And those are both on the 5th. We have one on the 5th of June, one on the 5th of July, 5-5, right? The number of changes. And then we have that massive solar eclipse that's happening right on the equinox. And we have this first eclipse that's happening on the 5th, the day before the 6/6 portal. And there will be a video coming on that. I'm feeling it like this, like it quite literally is this giant portal that's opening up, and we're having this huge timeline shift. Like there is so much happening in the non-physical, in the cosmos, with the planetary alignments, with all of this stuff, with these extraterrestrial races that are aiding us, right? Like all of this different stuff. There is so much going on beyond what we just see with our eyes, you know what I mean? And I think that in some ways too, a lot of the chaos going on outside is like people can sense that and feel that, but they don't know what they're sensing and feeling. It's just like that momentum is building. And so just really just trusting in that, just trusting in the fact that even though on the outside it looks like shit's going completely crazy, things are all unfolding in accordance with a divine plan. And just really trusting in that and staying centered in that and allowing your focus to stay on that, while at the same time focusing on the other things that you're drawn to focus on, but just knowing and centering into that and not allowing anything to pull you out of that vibration is just so, so essential. And then it says this. So now we're jumping back to this. Like I said, we're going to be going back and forth, up and down, just, it's like the ascension process, right? We're just along for the ride here. So it says, this oracle brings you guidance. You are going to attract whatever is needed to complete your work in progress and bring it to fruition. Remain open to receive and trust in the unfolding of your life experiences. Do not turn away. All of the necessary elements are coming together. Allow this integration to occur so that you can manifest your dreams. Yeah. So just trust that all those pieces are falling together perfectly, even when it feels or it looks like they're falling apart. Sometimes things fall apart so that other things can come together. And that's what we're seeing going on in the world at large right now too, is things are falling away, things are falling apart, things are being torn down so that something better can be built. And that something better will be built. Absolutely. And then I'm intrigued by this card. So I'm going to read this. This is a new one that I've never seen before. It says, be the hunter, not the hunted. And it's got the owl. The owl's been coming up in a lot of readings. I've been noticing it in so many cards. And yeah, I don't know. There's just like the owl is wise, right? The owl represents wisdom. It represents vision. Like the owl can see, it has a 360-degree vision. It can see in the dark. It can see the things that other people can't see. I almost feel it as like this cosmic messenger that can see in between the veils, right? It can see past the veil. It can see into different dimensions. Like the owl is, I'm just now remembering, also heavily connected to extraterrestrial energy. So I think that's interesting too. I never put that together when I've been seeing it come up a lot, but I want to see what this card has to say here, because it's very intriguing. So this says, do you feel you are at the beck and call of circumstances, situations, and relationships that are outside of your control? Is your attention being called away from what you love, from your passionate focus upon your own journey and creative self-expression? Are you feeling roped into becoming a support, tonic, savior, and heal all for others? There is a big difference between healthy supportiveness in a relationship, which includes healthy self-support, and ignoring your own journey out of misplaced guilt, shame, unworthiness, or the belief that the needs of others are more important than your own. That is not compromise. That is unhealthy and neglectful of yourself. And so this has been coming up a lot as well for people, is just this learning how to care for ourselves and put ourselves first, and learning how important it is to do that. And especially as people are coming into an awareness of the fact that they do have a mission here, that they do have a purpose, right? And that purpose involves helping others. People are really, sometimes when we first get involved in the service aspect and we realize that we want to be of service to humanity, we overdo it. We overgive. It just feels so good. And then we just do it and we do it. And sometimes we do it partially for validation. We do it partially. I mean, this talks about also some people do it. It's sort of like, and that's bringing something else up. When we do something, when we're of service for the reason of getting something out of it, or because we feel obligated, that kind of service is not love. That service is not uplifting to the self. That does not carry the vibration that we're looking to embody. That is of a lower vibration because it's detrimental to ourselves and we're not in a space of joy. Just like when we give, when our own cup is not full and we're not full and taken care of within ourselves, and we give from that place of not having enough for ourselves, from that place of lack, that doesn't carry the vibration that we're looking to embody either. And so it's actually detrimental to us. We want to be of service, but we want to be of service from a place of fullness within ourselves and from a pure place of wanting to serve and knowing that the way that we are serving is effective and it is helpful for all and it is uplifting and supportive to others, but not enabling. Because when we enable people through our service and through the ways that through caretaking and through these different things, what we're actually doing is crippling their own journey. We're disallowing them to step into their own empowerment because we're doing for them what part of their spiritual journey is to learn how to do for themselves. And so that's a whole lot of stuff on service coming up there. But a lot of that stuff has been coming up quite a bit as well. And just the importance of self-care and the importance of knowing that when it comes to the things that truly matter to us and the things that we're truly passionate about, Spirit is not going to ask us to sacrifice those things for anything or anyone else. There is always a way to continue on our spiritual path and to continue to grow and develop spiritually and to serve our mission in the world that serves everybody else in a way that's positive, in a way that's actually helpful. So that I wanted to put out there as well. Yeah. Just seeing. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That is a huge part of part of the shadow work that a lot of people are going through right now, I think. Absolutely. And so you're being asked to see through the assumptions, expectations, tantrums, or manipulations that may be put upon you by yourself or others. See through them to the truth. You can only sidestep, change your response to, or choose to release that which you can recognize. This oracle brings you some important news. You are capable of seeing the truth, outsmarting old patterns, and responding more creatively to craft new and improved relationships. You don't have to be drawn into the dramas of others or the suffering of repetitive struggles. You can become still and intent with a willingness to see the truth. In doing so, you will open to being shown another way through the inner wisdom of your heart, or in a flash of insight from the great universal mind that penetrates your own awareness. This oracle also brings you particular guidance that there is a message coming your way. This message will be important to you, and you are not to paint it as anything more or less than what it is. Sit with your heart. Take your time. Even if there is a deadline for your answer, you will be able to bend and stretch time so that in your relaxation, you can feel for what your truth is in the situation at hand and respond appropriately. This is going to be really important for someone, I'm feeling. The more honest your response, without the need to be aggressive or apologetic, the more energy you will be unleashing from unhealthy patterns and into the fresh new course your life now wants to take. This is a powerful time for you. No matter how seemingly small or how apparently dramatic events around you appear to be, know that you are stepping into a new phase of empowerment. From that place, a new freedom and self-love will emerge. Yeah, and so this has been coming up. This came up in a few of the astro readings as well, and this has just been coming up in general. Us stepping into our own power, us moving past these unhealthy patterns, these behaviors, these ways of being that are outdated, that we just kind of continue to cycle around in. And we're beginning to see the truth. We're beginning to get insights into our behavior, into the behaviors of others, into situations. And a lot of us are being presented with situations that are forcing these realizations upon us. They're helping us to understand these things. A lot of us are encountering physical manifestations of the shadow work that we're doing that are showing us these cycles again. And these cycles it's sort of like they're coming faster and faster now. It's like we may have had a repeating pattern that happened over the years, kind of over and over again. And we were just like, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of happening again. And then all of a sudden, as time is speeding up and everything is happening faster and we're awakening more quickly, all of a sudden those cycles are repeating in a shorter and shorter amount of time. So it's almost like at this point, if we don't recognize the cycle and do something about it, we're literally just running around in circles like this. And it's just over and over and over again, the same thing. And it's like, it's kind of funny. It feels to me like spirit is just like, okay, like if this is what you want, then like you just get to experience this nonstop. And like, I'm going to throw this in your face so that there's no way that you can ignore this anymore, because you're basically just going to be living this on a consistent basis until you acknowledge what needs to be acknowledged. And I feel like once there is, it sort of like it mentioned in here, once there is that little flash of initial acknowledgement of a situation, then all of a sudden the insight comes. And we understand what we're meant to understand when we really first accept what's going on and take responsibility for that as well. And that actually happened to me recently. I had a situation that has been playing out throughout my life, and it's been playing out. It just, the time in between was getting shorter and shorter. And I finally was just like, got to a point where I was like, okay, I understand there's something going on with this. It's probably a past life thing. Like, what is the karma here? What is it that I'm not seeing? Like, I understand there is something very profound going on with this. And as soon as I like really concretely recognized that and became willing, I think in the past, the last time this situation popped up, I recognized it, but I don't know if I was 100% willing to see what was behind it. And this time, I guess that was the other thing, was I was really willing to see. And I was really willing to do something different and to act upon whatever the insight was. And then it was sort of just like that, like it talks about in here, the realization and the understanding, the answer just came to me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I understood the pattern that I've been repeating and why I've been repeating it and what actually happened in a past lifetime that I feel guilt over in this lifetime that I'm punishing myself energetically for by repeating these cycles. And so these are the kinds of things that are going on for people right now. I think there's a reason that I was called to share that experience. But it's like, now I'm just in this process of learning how to forgive myself for what I need to forgive myself for, so I don't have to repeat that anymore. And these are the kinds of gifts and the opportunities that we're being given. And so when we see these situations playing out in our lives with people, they're being put there to trigger that, to kind of get us to think and be like, well, wait a minute, this is happening again. Like, what's going on here and why? And what can I do about this? What adjustments can I make? Yeah. So, yeah, but that message specifically was for somebody. So I hope that whatever it was that I just read, I've totally forgotten it already. I don't think I needed to put any commentary in there on that. I think that that was just a message that I just read for somebody. So when that situation, if that resonated with you, just hopefully remember that part of what I read. And so then it says, Mother Nature offers you the wisdom medicine of the owl, the ability to hear what is not spoken and see what is hidden in darkness. Trust what you feel beyond appearances. The power and magic of the owl is working with you, and Mother Nature is by your side, assisting you in navigating the current life transition into a new way of being. Yeah. And so this is also just about trusting our internal guidance system, trusting our intuition, really building that relationship with our intuition. And as we learn to trust our intuition and that guidance, we learn how to trust ourselves. And the more we can trust ourselves, the more effective we're going to be in the world. And the easier it's going to be for us to navigate all of these crazy situations that are going on right now, right? So it's really that process of us getting to know ourselves better, getting to trust ourselves better, really sinking into that knowing of who we are, and really sinking into that ability to learn how to be guided by our intuition, to trust our intuition, to trust our perception, right? Like this, it's interesting because we've gone through this period, I think a lot of us, where it's been brought to our attention the places where our perception has been flawed and how that has been manifesting. It's like the power of attraction, what that has been attracting into our reality, and how that has been attracting these circumstances and these repeating patterns and all of this, right? And so we've understood that our perception was flawed, and we've made some adjustments. We're becoming open to seeing the world in a new way, right? And so, yeah. Oh, it just totally, that they pulled whatever else I was going to say about that. But yeah, so our perception, right? So we had to question our old perception, but now we are, because we've begun this process of learning how to trust our intuition, learning how to feel into things, learning how to open ourselves up to other perspectives and other ways of viewing things. And now we're being asked to trust that and to utilize that tool to aid us as our perception continues to grow and to expand, and to help us to understand and navigate situations. And I guess really what I'm getting is like helping us to not be trapped by our own perceptions, because we have a lot of us maybe a more elevated perception now, but it's still a perception and it's still beliefs and it's still limiting. Anything that has a parameter or a structure is limiting. And so even if our perspective is broadened, it's still limited to some extent. So the way that we push past those limits is to really feel into our intuition, is to really get connected into that and allow that to show us all the little nuances, and really begin through that process to be able to trust our gut instincts about things, about situations, about people, and to trust these insights when they come in, and to really be able to differentiate. This is something that I've had to learn, is being able to differentiate between my intuition and the guidance that I'm receiving, and like my own perception and my own thoughts. And like would those flashes of inspiration, when those come, it's that knowing. It's like when I receive guidance from spirit or from my higher self, there's a feeling of knowing. that I get with it. It's like, it's a very comfortable feeling. It's a feeling that there's really no way to question it, because it's just instantly, the moment it pops into my head, I just know that that's truth. And then when I'm thinking things and I have that uncomfortable sort of feeling, and I'm just kind of like analyzing and I'm getting really into the mind, then that's when my perception and my belief structure and all of that stuff is being activated in that process. And that's what I know. That's how I know that difference. So that may have been helpful for somebody who's going to watch this as well to know. Yeah. And trust what you feel beyond appearances. And so that is relative to when we're talking about the world at large right now, right? Is like, by appearances, everything is absolute chaos and pandemonium. And it doesn't look like things are going in a very good direction, right? But that's just what we're seeing. That's just what we're being shown. And once again, that's perception. Like, we can't trust anything out that we are being shown by outside sources, because everything that we're being shown is being shown to us with the agenda of influencing our perception and getting us trapped in that mind space that I was just talking about, right? So we have to see beyond all of that. We have to see beyond what's being shown to us. And it's like what we talked about with getting into that feeling space. That's our anchor into the fifth dimension. That's what brings us into that new energy. It's like, we have to learn. We're in this process of learning how to trust what we feel, how to feel into situations, how to feel into people, how to feel into that knowing, right? Like, that knowing is a feeling. It's knowing makes you think of the mind, right? But it's like, the knowing comes from that feeling that I was describing. So it's like really getting anchored into that aspect of ourselves, that feeling aspect of ourselves, and just like knowing, like, what is it that I feel? Like, when I look out at the world, I do see chaos, and I do perceive and I do understand that there is a lot of fear consciousness going on right now. But if I feel into the present moment and the energy of that, like the true energy, not the collective energy and sort of all of the different energies that people are experiencing on the surface, but the energy, the authentic energy of what is happening, like what is reality right now. It feels good to me. It feels positive. It feels full of potential. And it's, I anchor in and zone into that feeling of potential and that the truth of that energy. And I know that, like, even though things may appear a certain way right now, like, I know where they're headed. I know what they're moving toward. And I am moving toward that energy myself by staying anchored in that consciousness and that knowing. Oh, there's so much work going on behind the scenes. So much work. There's just, and we don't even have to know everything that's going on. We just have to trust it. We just have to trust it, and we just have to do what our own intuition is guiding us to do. And that's where we're talking about anchoring into that feeling too. Like, what do I feel that I'm being called to do? And just doing that, and doing that from a place of love and a place of knowing. And there is, oh my God. I look down at the next card. It says, she feels, she knows. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. I didn't even put two in. Oh, that's nuts. All right. We got to read that. And that's card number 22 for those of you who are into numerology and numbers. Oh my God, you can't make this shit up. I mean, honestly, I've glanced over a few times because I wasn't sure if I was feeling the card, but I did not put two and two together that I was talking about that. And that's what the card was called. I was just sort of kind of looking at her picture and trying to figure it out, and just, yeah, that's fucking wild. I love it. Oh yeah. Did you? 1122. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yes. Yeah, I've been seeing 144 everywhere. I believe it has to do with the 144,000, but it's just like everything is 1144, 144, 1144, one. It's just been absolutely everywhere. But the twos are coming back around a lot now too. So I've been noticing a lot more twos again as well. It's so fun when you pay attention to numbers and numerology. Yes, yeah. It's, yeah. You know, a lot of people watching this, a lot of us in this ascension journey are part of that 144,000, I believe. And it's just like, I can't even get into all of that because there are different meanings. I've heard some interesting things about the 144,000 lately, but I'm getting the ringing again in my ears. But it's just, people who are watching this channel, people who are guided to this material, like, we are here. We have a mission. We have a purpose. So many of us, I mean, we're here to elevate and uplift this earth. And like, that's what we're doing. And this is the feeling. This is the vibration, like when you look like this, when you've got this smile, when you're anchored into that heart energy, you're being that satellite, you're anchoring in those vibrations, you're adding that vibration to the earth. Like, that is so powerful. And I think sometimes we forget how powerful it is just to do that, and just to be here, and just to be present, and just to witness. Yeah. So let's see what this She Feels, She Knows card is all about. And it's probably a lot of what we've been talking about. An illumination is erupting from within you as a vision that is bringing what was once obscured into clarity. Excuse me. This is not likely to happen as a blinding, shocking insight, but as more of a softer, gentle knowing. It is like knowing something without understanding exactly when or how you came to know it. This insight will assist you when you are asked to honor it. You will know which insight it is at the right time. Your heart will tell you. You are therefore being asked to rely upon the clarity that is coming to you now or has just recently come, right? Yeah. Gently but firmly from that place of knowing, intend to act and take your next steps forward. This oracle comes to you with guidance, particularly about long-range or long-term developments. Something that is far bigger than the immediate situation, issue, or moment is of importance, although you will only have a dim sense of that possibility at best. The situation you found yourself in right now may not be one of joy, but in time you will understand more of the bigger picture. You will come to see why things are happening as they are, and how you are being helped on to the next stage of your path, even though it may look like an obstacle right now. And so this is bringing back up what we were talking about when it comes to the shadow stuff coming back out and how we're cleansing and purging a lot of that stuff. And it feels almost like we're moving backwards sometimes in that process. And these situations and these people that are popping up to trigger that shadow material and to help us to elevate and step into our empowerment and to move past those energies and to close out those cycles. And so that, I feel that energy that we were talking about, I'm feeling as I'm reading this as well. So yeah, you will come to see why things are happening as they are and how you're being helped on to the next stage of your path, even though it may look like an obstacle right now. You're being asked to think in terms of long-term happiness. Sometimes this warrants change or even temporary restrictions in the short term. If you can't see how the present can possibly become what you sense the future to be, what we were just talking about, this message is especially relevant. Through the natural process of transformation, great leaps are indeed possible. Great leaps. Now I'm thinking of the timeline leaps. I'm thinking of this portal that we're moving into with this eclipse and everything, right? You simply must be prepared to surrender into the process with absolute trust. And so I just got to stop right there too and say that I've really been feeling that. It's like, I feel as though in a split second, everything can alter dramatically. So we're going along and we're moving along. And it's that process of like when we talk about manifestation, right? And everything's happening in the ether and we can't see until we see the finished result. We can't see the momentum. We can feel it, right? But we can't necessarily see it, but that doesn't mean that it's happening. And then all of a sudden it's there. So part of me feels like that's almost what's going to happen with this new earth too. It's like we're moving towards it and we're moving towards it and we can feel it. And it seems as though if we're looking by the outside progress, that it's going to take a really long time to get there. But all of a sudden it may just hit like boom. And it's been interesting. I've been reading on a lot of metaphysical sites. A lot of people seem to believe that in this month of June, we will be moving into that fifth dimension, or some of us, many of us will, which I think is really interesting. And so it's funny that I'm talking about this right now. And I guess this is something that I needed to hear, because part of me has been like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to take a lot more time than that. That would be pretty cool, but maybe not. Honestly, things can change in the blink of an eye. So that was just, it's time's an illusion, right? Like linear time. This has to happen so that this can happen, so that this can happen. Like that's true in this reality, but that's not true in all other realities. And so, yeah, that's interesting that just came up. And I want to repeat this line because I think this is really important. You simply must be prepared to surrender into the process with absolute trust. This oracle brings you specific guidance. The situations in your current life are particularly geared towards a more significant manifestation that is coming to you according to your life path and purpose. This is a stage of preparation and of building a foundation that will hold you strong and centered as your creative journey unfolds and your life path becomes ever more brilliant and luminous. It reminds me of a quote that I quote a lot, or that I have on my Facebook. It says something like, everything that you're receiving is preparing you for what you asked for, or something like that. You'd think, I quote it and I have it on there. You'd think I would be certain of the verbiage, but I'm not. But it's to that effect, right? So keep plugging away, remain patient, but most of all, be hopeful and trust in the light you sense ahead of you, for it is the light that is within you, simply revealed more fully. And all that is happening now is happening to that end. It's not what is what is happening to me. It's what's happening for me. That is jumping out in my mind too. Okay. And then we also have, what do you feel? Number 9. And it's interesting, right? Because she's juggling. I think that's an orange, honestly. But to me, it's reminding me of like the moon and the sun, or the earth and the sun here. Even, yeah. Oh, and then she's got the other apple too. But I don't know. When I just saw those two, I was thinking of the alignments of the moon and the sun, the earth and the sun. So it's just bringing me back to thinking about the eclipse and stuff like that too. Yeah, she looks almost blind, but she's not, right? Because she's seeing from here and she's seeing from here. And that's part of the journey. We talk about the head to the heart. And what that means even more, I'm thinking right now, than moving out of the mind and into the heart, is the journey also of bridging the third eye with the heart, bridging this knowing with this knowing, which really these are the same. So I don't know. That's interesting too. Like we're already on the 6th month. Yeah. All right. Hold that up for you guys again. So that says, there are many options around you. Some are helpful, but others are distracting you from your truth. Although it can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others, when it all comes down to it, you will have to come to your own decision. That's so important right now, is learning how to come to our own decisions when it comes to things, right? Like we're being fed so much propaganda. We're being fed so much information, much of it false, right? And so it's like, what do I know? What do I feel? What do I believe? That's why it's so imperative to tap into our intuition and to look beyond what we're just visually being shown to what it is that we feel. And it's interesting too, because I'm up at the top here, I keep looking up and it says 5 likes and then 5. It says there's 5 people on here right now. So 5. I just keep seeing that. And the numbers keep going up and down. People keep hopping on and off, but it keeps going back to 5, which is the number of changes. So yeah, that's interesting too. But yeah, it's all about, sorry, I gotta adjust myself here, stretch out my legs a little bit. But yeah, so it's all about learning to discern our own truth, really like utilizing our intuition to step into that place of discernment. So we're not just believing the information that we're being fed. We're discerning truth for ourselves. Although it can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others when you have your decision, do you know how you are unique? How your path is your path to be chosen, lived, and created only by you. Someone else cannot become the source of your decision-making power without negative repercussions for both of you in the long run. This oracle comes to you because you have become swept up in thinking things through. You have been thinking about which way to go with a matter of importance, and you have got a bit stuck in the logic of the decision-making process. Sometimes we have to accept that any path is a path forward, and if it is not the best path, we can change our approach later on if needed. So this is like, if we're stuck in that place of doing nothing because we don't know what to do, just like making a choice. And this reminds me, when I say that, of when I talked about, I forget what reading it was, but I talked about the fact that like, if we take one step and the universe takes 10 to meet us, but we have to take that first step first. So it's like getting out of that stagnant energy and just getting moving, getting any kind of momentum going is helpful. Getting any kind of momentum going speeds up that process and really helps to facilitate that. And helps to just make anything happen, you know, instead of just being stuck. Like when we're not moving and we're not making any decisions, we're stuck in that stagnant energy. Yes. So then it says, sometimes we have to accept that any path is a path forward. If it's not the best path, we can change our approach later on. If we are slightly off base with a decision, life will often shift and move us to guide us back on track. We don't have to be perfect. In fact, there is rarely ever a perfect choice to be made, just some choices that feel more heart-honoring than others. Sometimes we can only really know in hindsight if we made the best choice possible in that moment. At the time of decision-making, we only really have our internal wisdom to rely on, right? What we've been talking about. And that is all we need. And so this also reminds me of the fact of like, when we're talking about, I've loved this analogy that I've heard people use. It's like a GPS system, right? It's so like, when it comes to our purpose, when it comes to the things that are meant for us, when it comes to that fate aspect, right? Because we have free will, but there's also fate. There's also sort of like destiny and the reasons that we came here, right? And it's like, if we go off course with that, spirit will re-navigate us, right? It's sort of like when you're driving and you're using the GPS and you make a wrong turn and it reroutes you. And like, so spirit will keep doing that for us. So it's like, don't allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear of making the wrong choice into not making any choice at all. Because like, our GPS can reroute us as long as we're still moving. But if we stop driving the car, we're not going to get anywhere. And then the oracle of what do you feel is telling you there is no need to punish or traumatize yourself with possible choices. Just making a choice will set things in motion. The best way to catalyze the situation you are in and bring about healing change, stimulate your creative juices, and find a more inspired, energized, and enjoyable approach to your life is to just make a choice based on what you feel right now. Not based on anyone else's feelings, just yours. So ask yourself, what do I feel right now? And go from there. If you cannot relate to the need to make a choice between two or more clear alternatives, then the oracle brings you this message. You are at a crossroads in your journey, and the choices you make at this time, even simply to do things a little differently without much drama associated with the decision, are powerful triggers for some great magic to enter your life. And so what this is making me think of is the choice that we talk about all the time on here, right? The choice between fear and love, the choice between, I've now come to realize also, service to self versus service to others. It's this choice point that we're at that's determining what reality we're going to experience moving forward. And so this is a really important choice, and we're all making it primarily with our vibration, but we're making it with every little choice that we make leans us in one direction or the other. So it's like, we talk about this, I throw this phrase around a lot, right? Like how I do one thing is how I do everything. But it's like all the little things that I do matter. And those little things add up to bigger things. And it's just like, we make a choice every time. And I almost said we make a choice every time we make a choice, but you know what you guys know what I'm trying to say right now. It's like we are shifting ourselves. We're shifting in and out of timelines every time we make a choice too, right? And so every time we make a choice, another reality is born where we made a different one. So we can switch back and forth, and like we can always, that's another way of rerouting, right? It's like all of those possibilities exist and we can switch back into a different one. So that's like the cosmic version of the GPS, right? It's like shifting us in and out of timelines. But yeah, like we are choosing our timeline. We are choosing what our experience of reality is going to be like moving forward, whether we are ascending into this fifth dimension, because, you know, not everyone is going to have to. People who choose not to are going to be, I believe, allowed to choose not to, and they're going to continue experiencing a reality that's appropriate for what they want to learn and what they're choosing. What are you choosing? We all get to make that choice, and we are making that choice. It says we're at a crossroads. We are at a crossroads, every single one of us. And we may not be aware of that or not, but we absolutely are. So it's really choosing wisely and just, yeah, understanding that every little decision that we make is effectively making that choice and determining that timeline. And that's not saying that to like try to be scary or anything like that. It's a beautiful thing, because that means in every single moment we have the opportunity to make a new choice. Take a different approach to something. Be open to that which makes you uncomfortable but could be exciting and interesting. Even small adventures will yield rewards, big rewards right now. It matters less that you do the most wonderful thing ever, and more that you simply take an action from your heart. Open up to the creative magic of life and don't worry about how well it is all going to work out. The bigger creative flow of life is sorting out all the details, and you are not immune to that plan. In fact, you are a natural part of it. So just spend some time with your own feelings and know that all is going to work out perfectly. And that's what it is, guys. Everything is going to work out exactly as it's meant to at any given time. So it's just accepting that and being open to that. And yeah, just allowing that and welcoming that. And I did see you, yeah, boy. I'm getting ready. I'm going to need to wrap this up, but I'll pull a card for you from the Secret Language of Light deck real quick. Hello, Arabella. And just so everyone knows, everyone that's on this channel is here. Like, the messages that are one person are the messages for everyone. Like, it's not a coincidence that anyone decided to log on at this time. Like, whenever you popped on was a perfect time for you to pop on. You're definitely free to watch the rest of the live. We talked about some great stuff on here. But yeah, like, everybody that was gravitated toward it because there were universal messages that they needed to hear. So just really paying attention to that and understanding that, and knowing that a reading for one person is a reading for everyone, really, at this point, in one way or another. Yeah, boy. Card for yeah, boy. Oh, hello. Soul Song. So that is for you. It's so funny calling you that. Yeah, boy. That card came out for you, Soul Song. And so immediately what I'm thinking when I pull this card is that it's what we were talking about earlier. And this is what always happens when I end up pulling cards for people during the live, is it's stuff we already talked about earlier. So your soul song, as you sing your soul song, as you step into your truth and your authenticity, and you allow the lower vibrational energies to purge, you release the things that need to be released, you wrap up these cycles, you step further into the truth of who you are. That's your soul song. Your vibration is your soul song. And your vibration is calling in things of that same vibration. So that's how you attract your soul tribe. That's how you attract your mission. That's how you attract all of the abundance and all the things that are meant for you, is by learning how to sing your soul song, by getting rid of all of the gunk and all of the garbage that we all have that clouds that, and stepping into that true, full, authentic vibration of who you are. That is going to call in absolutely everything and everyone. If you are somebody who relates to the twin flame dynamic, that's going to call in that energy for you as well. Like, you are that vibration, your true vibration, when you are at your perfect essence, is creating that song. It's everything, vibration, frequency. It's all music, right? It's all tones. It's all, so that soul song is playing out there into the universe, and it is attracting back everything that's a match for that vibration. And so it's telling you to sing your soul song, and to keep singing your soul song, and to know that that's what's going to bring all of the goodness that you're seeking into your life. And then we have on the bottom of the deck, nothing has gone wrong too. And so that I feel is an additional message. If there's been anything that's been popping up in your reality that seems like an obstacle, and we talked about this earlier too, or a stumbling block, it's absolutely not. That's being put there for your growth and your advancement, and that is preparing you for the things that you've asked for. That's helping you to refine your vibration so that you can step into and start admitting and start singing this soul song. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Hello, Arabella. Do you have a personal question? I mean, I can do a couple of those. You're welcome. Thank you, Frank. Oh, Frank Vendetta, I just noticed. I love that. V for Vendetta. Is that what we're doing here? I love that. Yes, that's beautiful. Hi, Jason. How you doing? You're welcome, Kelly. How does M feel about me? Okay, Arabella, let's see. What do we want to... We're going to do this real quick for you. For Arabella, how does M feel about me? Let's get some... How does M feel about Arabella? Okay, so I got the 6 of Pentacles for you, and the 4 of Swords, and the 3 of Wands. And so the 6 of Pentacles would be, it would be reciprocity. It would be even give and take. It would be the sharing, the even sharing of energy, right? And then I get the 4 of Swords here, which is like rest and recuperation, and sort of like, after a struggle, just curling up in that safe and warm kind of space. That safe, it's sort of like a healing of the heart is the energy that I get from here. It's just like taking some space to sort of heal the heart and to rest and to recuperate and to need. I feel as though the 6 of Pentacles, what I'm getting from this is somebody who is their equal. That's how I feel. That's how I feel from that. It's like the energy of an equal energy exchange. Somebody who is an energetic and a spiritual equal. But then I'm seeing that there was a need for some time spent alone, some time to recuperate, some time to heal. Like the 4 of Swords is feeling very much to me like healing at this point. Healing, and then we have the 3 of Wands, which is sort of like waiting for your ships to come in, right? But it's like sort of getting ready, like being prepared, but not quite ready to step into the water yet. But like she's ready to go. She's got the torches are burning there, right? Like it's the torch and the fire, like carrying that passion and that fire, but kind of like waiting for the timing to be correct. Waiting and wishing. I would say it feels as though this person has perhaps taken some time, but I feel as though they're thinking about you. And then we have the 7 of Wands, which in this deck, like the 7 of Wands is typically feeling as though you're standing your ground against people who are seeking to, who are challenging you, right? But in this picture, like she's not, like it's a little bit of an aggressive energy of really feeling like you're kind of having to kind of fight people off and fend people off. But in this picture, it's like her vibration is just doing that naturally. Like she's not even worried about any of that. She's just sitting really calm in her own vibration. Really calm, putting out that, it's kind of like, it reminds me of that soul song card, right? Like in this card, she's just emitting her soul song. and not really worrying about a whole lot else right now. Yeah. And there's a pause. We got the Hanged Man. There's a pause going on right now. There's a lot of this sort of waiting and recuperating and just really regaining strength and becoming firm in one's own vibration, but also just like sending out the energetic. I mean, in this card, she's sending out these messages into the water, right? Sending out these messages, these light codes is what this looks like to me, is like light codes. So I feel as though this is a situation where it's where we talk about that feeling energy, right? Is like we can feel and we can connect to people on a spiritual level, even if we're not, even in the moments where we're not feeling as connected physically, and just really like having that energetic connection. This came up earlier in the live. So there's definitely an energetic connection. I mean, we've also got the star here, which is forgiveness. It's bliss. It's that connectedness, that wish fulfillment. It's like she's she's holding this string, and it's going up into the heavens. So it's like the messages that are, there's a lot of messages here. They're in the etheric. They're etheric messages. Oh yeah, it absolutely is a real thing. It absolutely is a real thing. Yeah. I don't know if that was helpful or not, but that's yeah, right. This damn quarantine. Yeah, it's a bitch for a lot of us. It's definitely a bitch for a lot of us. Let's see here. Any final? Yeah, we're gonna go for this. Any final cards for Arabella regarding M? For Arabella regarding M. So we have abundance and will for you as well. So you have the power to create the reality that you want and to bring in all the abundance and all of the goodness for that you are seeking. You have that. It's all about focused intent and focused will. And it's sort of what we said with how your energy attracts, right? Like what we put our attention on is what we attract. And so that's an additional message there. And then we have darkness. So going within, taking that journey into the shadow. I'm noticing it looks like an eclipse right here, right? So that eclipse energy may be significant for you. And then the unexpected, which is just expect the unexpected. And this can also indicate like an unexpected visitor. So there's a little extra right there, but I know what you mean. This quarantine's been rough for a lot of people. What list are we talking about? Yeah, boy, I pulled a couple cards for you earlier. Yeah. It's very possible. Go with your feeling, go with that gut feeling. When it comes to twin flames, yeah, we have to go with the feeling, because if we get caught up in the headspace, we get all fucked up. It's just like we're constantly trying to analyze and trying to figure it out. And it feels like the more we try to figure it out, the more confusing it becomes. So it's just about getting out of that headspace and back into that heart space and that feeling and that knowing. And also just getting comfortable in that space of not knowing. like really just enjoying meeting someone and just going with enjoying them and not needing to, it's so hard for us to do, right? But like not needing to label the experience that we're having and just allowing ourselves to feel into that experience, I think is so important as well. Yes, Mia, I can grab one more question real quick. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's so important, is just like, if you're feeling it, then go with it. And like whatever the experience is that you're meant to have together, you will have together. But a lot of people are calling in that energy right now, either calling back in the energy of their twin flame if they do have a physical counterpart and they've met already in the physical, or if they have never met before, like calling that energy into them right now. Like there's such a strong energy for that right now as this ascension is ramping up. I mean, that's the purpose, right? The ultimate purpose of the twin flame union is the union, which brings about and helps to anchor in this new earth. Like that's why twin flames are here, is to anchor in that energy, to anchor in those new paradigms. So of course, as all of this ascension is heating up, like that pull is going to be even stronger. What does Rob like about me physically? I don't know. That's not necessarily my area of expertise, my dear. I'm not really sure how we could go about answering a question like that. Let's see. Let's just get a card. This will be funny. Let's just get a card from Mia about Rob here. What does Rob like about Mia physically? What is the physical connection between Rob and Mia? Just for shits and giggles. We'll see what comes out here. What does Rob like about Mia? Interesting. So the Justice card came out. So he likes that you are very austerely dressed. You are very well put together, and he finds that very alluring. He finds that you have an air of dignity about you, and that you are always dressed to impress. How is that? Oh God, that's cute. That's wicked cute. I love you, Mia. That's adorable. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you are a very posh dresser. Perhaps that is. That's great. You do. All right. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, that's funny. Every time you asked if it was your twin flame, you would find a clover. See, that's cute. That's really sweet. You know, I think for some of us, it's more like we would get signs and synchronicities, but then those of us who are highly intellectual would then begin to question those and just turn into a giant clusterfuck. So I think that's really nice. Good for spirit for that, and good for you for recognizing that and not, yeah. And not making it more complicated than it has to be. That seems like pretty good confirmation right there, Jason. Yes, Sina. All right. Could I see mentally? No, I couldn't. Yeah, no. That's question. Will David communicate with me again? Yes, Sina. All right, yes, Sina. Actually, I'm being drawn to use. Will David communicate with Yasina? Will David communicate with Yasina? It's looking pretty good, Yasina. I would say the grief card came out. So it may be possible that David has been experiencing some grief, or there's been something going on surrounding that, surrounding grieving, surrounding just emotional pain. There's been a lot of confliction, but then we also have the action card, and we have received right here. Oh shit. And then under that, we have the twin flame card. So my feeling would be yes. You're welcome, Mia. You're so cute. I absolutely love you. Hi, I'm Kassia, actually. What Ethan likes about you. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. Now, this is the question I want to ask. Like, what do you like about you? You know, I mean, it's when we're wondering what it is that draws people to us. I mean, I can say it's vibration. It's the vibration. Our vibration is ultimately what draws people to us. So like there can be outside stuff that kind of draws people in sometimes, but really like we're pulling people in on a vibratory level. And it's that vibration that's oh, it's totally fine. Everyone, oh, that happens a lot. It's that vibration that draws people to us, right? And so there's all of this surface stuff, but underneath it all, that's what it's really about. That's what it's really about. Let me just we'll pull a card though. I like my bad bitch energy. All right. Yes, let's see. Where was that? Lillian. Is that Liliana? You guys are cute. You guys are cute. Oh my God. Is it Liliana? Yeah, that's pretty. All right, let's see. Let's see what it says. What does Ethan like about Liliana? What does Ethan like about Liliana? Okay, so we got the Temperance card, which is balance. So this would indicate that you are somebody who he sees as somebody who is fair, who is patient, who is balanced, who understands the nuances of situations. And I feel like empathy, somebody who's empathetic, somebody who's gentle and loving and empathetic. But then it's interesting because we also have the Three of Swords pop out. So I don't really know what that's all about. This typically indicates like heartbreak and betrayal and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is an energy that this person is in, or if this is something that they're sort of afraid of. Like they appreciate this about you, but maybe feel like it's a little bit too good to be true. I'm not really certain. But then we have the Star card on the bottom of the deck, which is like wish fulfillment. So maybe like a feeling of a fear of having everything that they might possibly want and then having this be the result. Or this could be an energy that they're healing from right now. Or they could maybe have admiration for you for seeing how you dealt with a situation like that and sort of recovered and bounced back from that. Could be any of those things. Thank you. Yeah. So I don't know if that resonated. Yeah, it was interesting. There's an interesting pairing of cards there. So Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I absolutely love you all. This has been so much fun. Like, I enjoyed how we got some nice lighthearted energy in on the end there. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it's all about. It's just like having fun with things and being goofy sometimes and just like getting into that joyful vibration. It's like that's the most important thing when we're on this journey together, is just like learning how to laugh and learning how to be lighthearted sometimes, and just like, not take everything so seriously. And so I want to thank all of you guys for hopping on. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your support and the energy that you lend to this channel. Wait. You and Charlie, didn't we just do you and somebody else? Now we're doing you and Charlie. Well, hold on here. Hold on. All right, Liliana. Now I see where this Three of Swords card is coming up. Now I'm starting to understand. Okay. All right, let's check this out real quick. Oh yeah, this month is going to take us some strange places, Frank, I think. I am really looking forward to finding out what happens. I mean, it's just I'm honestly got like super stressed out for a little while, just thinking, not stressed out, but just it was overwhelming just how much was going on astrologically during the month of June. It really just kind of threw me for a loop. Like, God only knows what's going to happen and where we're going to go from here. But I think you're absolutely right. And we're at the halfway point. 6 months, we're halfway through 2020 now. And I feel like whatever happens this month is just going to supercharge the rest of the year. It's just really, we're passing through that portal. We have that the timeline jump, whatever is going to happen, this reset, it feels like a giant reset. And like, who really knows where we're going to go from here, but it's going to be really intense and really exciting. Okay. All right. We'll do this. Holy shit. Oh, that just jumped up a lot. Wow. People are all of a sudden hopping on. That's crazy. Either that or my thing just started actually working. Because I mean, my ego wanted to tell me that there were more than, now we're 144. We were at 133. Now we're at 144. That's amazing. Wanted to tell me there are more than 4 people watching, but I couldn't really be sure. And then at the end of the video, it says that there were so many views. And I had a hard time believing that many people were viewing the replay of the live. So maybe this just started working, or maybe people are actually at midnight are just actually starting to hop on here. Like, that's fucking nuts. But anyway, like, here we go. So who are we talking about now, Liliana? We're talking about, you're welcome, Jason. Thank you. I absolutely love you. Charlie. All right. Okay. This is for Liliana. Again, let's talk about Charlie. What is Charlie's energy toward Liliana? What is Charlie's energy toward Liliana? How does Charlie feel about Liliana? Oh. Okay. So we got the King of Cups. So I would say a lot. He has a very emotional, he feels very emotionally. I would feel very romantic. I would say he does have some romantic inklings toward you. And he's really wanting to recognize that publicly. Like, I think he would like you to be his girlfriend, is sort of the vibe that I'm getting. Like, he wants to publicly express his feelings and his admiration for you, but he's feeling a little bit conflicted about that. It may be causing him a little bit of emotional distress, just because perhaps he's not really sure how you feel about him. So that's what we got for old Charlie there. Yeah. Ascension, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that was pretty straightforward. So I would say I feel pretty confident that's how he's feeling about you, girl. You're welcome. Thank you guys. Like, yeah, I love it. I love like the carefree energy that we have going on here right now. I love, yeah, it's just taking that break. It's just, enjoying, snatching these little moments of joy where we can. Like, I'm really intrigued now to figure out if all of these people just hopped on or if any of you have been on here this whole time and my counter just wasn't working, because that's crazy. I mean, I guess, do we have anybody from anywhere else in the world in here right now? Or is, like, where are people from? Because I know, okay, so we got Brazil in the house. All right. Absolutely, Iago. Absolutely. Ask away. One card. Okay. Get a general card. I'm going to do, no, actually, I'm going to do this for you. Iago. Get a card for Iago. A card for Iago. I may actually pull two for you because I kind of want to pull one of those too. So, Iago. So we got defend to the end the worthwhile, Iago. And so this is about standing up for what you believe in. This is about speaking your truth. This is about being able to discern what is important and to stand firm in that knowing and to act from that place of knowing. And then we also got faith in the process. So you're also being called to have faith in the process that you're going through right now, and to know and to understand that this is a process and it is leading. I mean, I'm being drawn to the little bird on the top here, right? Sorry, I wasn't trying to flip you off. So it's like that bird represents hope to me. So it's having hope and having faith in this process that you're going through, and just having faith in your ability to stand up and fight for what it is that you believe in, and your ability to discern the truth in situations. Having your faith in your ability to do that as well, and to triumph, and knowing that any adverse situations that you're experiencing right now, like, you can and you will triumph over those, and those are making you stronger. Those are making you stronger. Those are making you wiser. Those are, and this came up interestingly enough during the live too, those are preparing you for what it is that you asked for. And just, it says, you are a sacred warrior, a defender of the heart. You have cried genuine tears of your own grief and also the grief of the world. You have raged at injustice and oppression in your own life and in the world. You have felt the need to protect the presence of love. For whilst it is exceptionally powerful, it can too easily be smothered under lies and fear. The sacred warrior must not heed the dangerous voices that say, oh, stop being so sensitive. Stop making such a big deal out of things. Love is the biggest deal there is. What else is worth being so sensitive about? The sacred warrior is vigilant that the presence of love is not chipped away by fear, criticism, doubt, or untruths. Even if others find the unflinching honesty of your feelings difficult to handle, even if those feelings are expressed with gentleness and compassion, the sacred warrior honors the task of being more faithful to love than to anything else. This includes the fear of loss. Actually, it includes the fear of anything at all. And then, yes, beneath the illusions, pretty as they may seem, you know what is real. Beneath the lies, sweet though they may sound, you know what is worthwhile. All that is genuinely and truly essential for the heart to throb with life is worthwhile. Anything that dulls it or suffocates its vibrant aliveness must be questioned, challenged, and more than likely cast aside. For the heart is our key to living an authentic life. What is there once that is compromised? Without its foundation of truth, we are to be forever lost in confusion, doubt, and despair. Yeah, so stay strong, stand your ground, embrace and honor your truth, and see through what is being presented to you to the truth of situations and intentions and motivations of others. That's a message for you. And trust and have faith in your process. Have faith in what you're going through right now and your ability to navigate that. So that's for you, Iago. I think he's Yep, damn Hatter, what's your question? You're welcome, Iago. Well, this is really great though. Like, I really appreciate you guys that are like, that are talking and interacting. I wasn't sure if there were even going to be people on, but I know it's, like I said, that's why I said, are there people from different countries? Because I know different times, like not everyone's in the same time zone, but I was thinking that there weren't really going to be that many people. I love it when there's people on here and we get to have these dialogues going. Ooh, Jocelyn. That's a beautiful name. That's actually one of my favorite names. How's the situation going between Jocelyn and I? Actually, we're going to go with these. All right. So this is for Damn Hatter. For Damn Hatter, what is Jocelyn's energy toward Damn Hatter? How does Jocelyn feel? What is the energy between Jocelyn and Damn Hatter? What is the energy? Okay. So you got rather, the Ace of Swords, triumphant success, and 0, which would be the Fool in the traditional tarot, which is new beginnings. And then we got also, this would be the Ace of Pentacles, I believe. No, Pentacles would be green. I get these. They're a little bit different. But the Ace of something, this would be Cups, maybe. Is red Cups? I don't know. But you got Prosperity Begins. So that would make me feel like it's the Ace of Pentacles in the traditional deck. So you got two aces, which together are an 11. You have Memories of Love. So that would be the equivalent of the 6 of Cups. And then Intuition, which would be the High Priestess. And then we also got the Waiting Game on the bottom of the deck. So I would say that she's having some sort of breakthrough around your connection. She's really definitely thinking, or this could be the energy between the two of you. This could be a mutual energy that both of you are experiencing right now, is this desire for a new beginning, a new cycle, just really having some clarity and some understanding around things that have gone on and the reasons and all of the things, right? And sort of like having this breakthrough and this moment of clarity that's like having a desire for something to manifest in the physical, but there's aspects like really wanting to tap in and feel intuitively into the situation, but like knowing that like there's a little bit of waiting going on. So either you're waiting on her or she's waiting on you, or you're waiting on each other. And there may be some aspects and some things that are still in the midst of being revealed. There may be more breakthroughs and more understandings that come in the future as well. But there's definitely been a breakthrough, I think, on either her end or your end. Any more energy, any advice? And then we got the 9 of Swords, 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and Death or Transformation, which is Scorpio energy. So there was a period of mental entrapment and sort of like dissatisfaction. There was a period of mental entrapment. There was a period where one or both of you were sort of like stuck in your heads and you're kind of moving, and maybe even a situation that involved a third party some sort of discontent, whether that was an inner thing that was mirrored as an outward event. There may have been some situation like that, and sort of a rebirthing process, a transformation process that occurred as a result of all of that energy. But I'm definitely feeling her wanting to come back in. In the new beginnings, I just put the cards all away, and that was on the bottom of the deck again. So that's that. So I don't know if you guys are, if you guys are actually together, then that to me would suggest that wanting a fresh start or wanting to refresh the energy and sort of move forward in a new manner. Move forward from a place of more clarity of communication, really wanting to put down and create a firm foundation based on clear communication. If this is a current relationship, I feel the need and the desire for that, and an understanding of the aspects that maybe, if there are aspects that weren't working, then maybe like communicating about those and like creating a firm foundation from the basis of that. Yes, you absolutely will. That's just a given, Jason. That's just a given. Yes. Yes. Let's do a we'll pull a card on that for Jason. Jason and Kelly. Oh, there you go. So that energy makes sense then. Yep. So I definitely feel there's a lot of that energy. Yeah. So I'm glad that resonated for you. But there's definitely, she's thinking about you, I think. I don't know if the clarity is coming through on your end or her end, but someone's definitely getting clarity. And I mean, 2 aces is always good. 2 aces and the Fool, like you really can't beat that for energy. So, all right, Jason and Kelly. Jason and Kelly. Jason and Kelly. Let's get a card for Jason and Kelly. Yep, we got the Hierophant, Jason. So this is like, to me, this is like spiritual advancements, spiritual knowledge. This is also the card of, this would be the marriage card. If we were looking at that, it's commitment, it's indoctrination, it's religious teachers, right? So, oh my God, what was your question? Warrior healers of light. You may very well absolutely be that. We got the 9 of Cups. So that's wish fulfillment. And the Ace of Pentacles, which is firm foundation. This is abundance. This is a cycle of abundance. And then we got Justice, which in this card, to me, you see it's like the 2 balanced aspects, right? So we had talked about the balancing of the masculine and the feminine, right? And that coming into balance. So yes, I would say the answer to your question is yes. All right, guys. So we are going to wrap this up now because we've been going for quite a bit. But thank you all so much. I had a great time with you guys. And I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful night. And we will talk to you all soon. Once again, Kayla and I thank you guys for your support and just all of the beautiful positive energy that you are always pouring into our channel. Like, we can feel it, and it really inspires and motivates us. And I love doing these lives with you guys and just getting a chance to really interact with you a little more and to share and exchange that energy on a whole other level. So you are all very much appreciated. I love you all very, very much. And honestly, I cannot wait to get up and stretch my legs. So we'll talk to you soon. Good nights.